We are proud to welcome you in officially to another week of the Meltdown live show every day, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. We appreciate you being here. The weekend box office led to yet another huge weekend for Marvel as Deadpool and Wolverine continues to carve up the record books. Where does Tyler stand after having seen it a third time? We will discuss. I got a chance to see M. Night Shyamalan's Trap over the weekend and can't wait to confer with the panel on our overall non-spoiler thoughts for the film. 10 with Tim will get our crew answering some personal preference questions. And with Season 2 of House of the Dragon officially wrapped up following last night's finale, what were John's big takeaways from the acting department? We will find out on another Luntz's List here on this Monday, as we are The Meltdown, presented by MyBookie, broadcasting live from the Culver studio.
Two big balls in a tiny studio, teaching you and me about everything they know to make sound. A meltdown, it's the meltdown, time for the meltdown, coming for the meltdown, let's start the show.
It is a Monday in Meltdonia, and we have no shortage of topics today for sure. A big entertainment weekend yet again as the biggest movie of the year continues to gobble up all of those dollars at the box office. I am Meltdown host Tim Melton, so happy to have you here with us. My co-host and collaborator, Mr. John Lunsford, searching for himself, and finally finding you, the audience, and all of our lovely subscribers.
Hi.
Hello,
here.
John.
I'm here.
I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Let's start with this. Ush joined us to pull another retro trailer reaction selection out of the Dune popcorn bucket. We do this series each and every week, and I know this is an entry that was pulled that you really are excited to review.
I am a big Tom Cruise fan. I've said I think he has the best filmography. I'm a Tom Cruise snob, I feel like, when it comes to the movies, because I feel like with a lot of people it's like, oh, well, the ones everybody loves are actually the best movies, and I'm the opposite with him. I go to the ones that I feel like most people don't say are his best movies. And one of those, which I think is the best, is the classic best racing movie ever created.
Color of Money.
Not Color of Money. It's a pool movie.
Color of Money's good.
Days of Thunder.
Oh, okay.
Was pulled from the bucket. It's, just imagine, it's Top Gun and everything that was great about it, but NASCAR.
And Randy Quaid.
And Randy Quaid.
So I'm sure you've heard
And Robert Duvall.
Yeah.
the latest Tom Cruise
Nicole Kidman
rumors.
and everybody, yes. What?
They are looking at casting him as Tony Stark, a Tony Stark variant in.
I feel like that has been rumored for a
Secret
long
Wars.
time to be
Or
Superior
Doomsday.
A lot
Iron
of
Man.
people thought it would pop up in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
That was the first one when you knew that you were going to have the John Krasinski, the Professor X, all those different cameos. It's like, well, Tom Cruise is going to play Iron Man. And since then, I feel like it has not stopped. That is still continually a rumor. Now, could it happen?
He was
Sure,
originally in
why
the
not?
running for Iron Man in 2008, and that didn't work out necessarily. But, that is definitely something that I think is on the checklist of most Marvel fanatics of something that would just be perfect casting for him to play Superior Iron Man. Isn't it Superior Iron Man? Is that the...
I mean, would it be awesome?
Variant?
Absolutely. Do I think it'll ultimately happen? No.
Yeah. We shall see, but we will be seeing Days of Thunder and reviewing that later this week. And for someone, John, I mean, you don't like the summer heat here in the South. You don't
do
like
not.
potato salad.
I do not.
You don't like hardly anything Southern. You don't like going out to the lake and catching some brim on a piece of corn. You
Doesn't
don't like
like
that.
sweet tea
Doesn't like sweet tea.
Don't like barbecue.
or sweet potatoes.
But yet you
sweet-
You like
love...
the Confederacy?
Well, I was just about to say... John, you love Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and you love Days of Thunder, which are two of the most Southern movies ever made in the history of Southern film.
Yes, Days of Thunder, obviously massive NASCAR. Look, I love Talladega Nights. Racing is in my blood. It's in my family. My family's been involved in the automotive industry their entire lives, and in the racing industry specifically as well. So, yeah, I grew up a massive NASCAR fan, a massive racing fan in general, and Days of Thunder was one of my introductions into Tom Cruise, and came out in 1990, so I was 3. So I don't know that I probably watched it in 1990, but don't know that I would have remembered it. But it's a movie that my dad and I watch a lot, and it's, I think it's some of Tom Cruise's best work, if I'm being honest.
Say daddy, little John. Say daddy. Cold trickle.
Yeah.
Okay. Producer Tyler's back here. We didn't prepare that before the show. It does look like it was a prepared bit.
No, we didn't. I did not get the reference. I was very confused.
You'll watch the movie this week.
He hasn't
You'll
watched Days of
understand.
Thunder yet. Yeah.
You went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine for a third time this past weekend. Tyler, you were the lowest on it of all of us coming out of that first showing. However, you keep going back. What's your take right now, currently as it stands with Deadpool and Wolverine and the quality of that film?
So this is one of the best Marvel movies since Endgame. I think it's between this and No Way Home. At first, the story, or kind of lack thereof, really annoyed me. But once you get past that, then it really just becomes nitpicky. And then I still don't like what they've done with Cassandra Nova. She's supposed to be one of the strongest mutants in the multiverse, and they turned her into a monster of the week. I didn't like that, but ultimately this is a complete crowd pleaser. This is a blockbuster, and it's filled with laughs from beginning to end.
Does it get better for you every time? I mean, is this a movie you plan on seeing a fourth time in theaters?
I don't plan on seeing it again, but it has gotten better for me, a lot better for me.
Okay. Well, it is an interesting relationship that you have with this movie, but I am glad that you are enjoying it and having entertainment associated with the viewing of this. And I assume your audiences each and every time have really been eating it up and they've been enjoying it. And these have been producing packed crowds based on the box office receipts alone.
Yeah, so last night was definitely the least crowded showing I've been to. But it was still decently full, and you could tell the crowd was still into it. I do think that there were a lot of people in there for a repeat viewing because a lot of the scenes that got big laughs on opening night just got no reaction last night.
Well,
which is to be expected.
We will crunch some of the numbers associated with Deadpool and Wolverine here coming up as it remains atop of the box office. No surprise there. Rockstar's here with us. Rockstar, appreciate you being back here with us on the live show. My question to you is, if you could have a perfect Rockstar-centric vacation planned for you and the family, where would it be to and what would it consist of?
Oh, it's so hard right now.
You went to go see Thomas the
Train, and he passed out on the train.
He passed out on the train.
And
I think you can do better than that.
He defecated on himself.
I want you
on
to
the
be
train.
a little selfish with this choice. I want you to pick something.
If it was selfish, it would be me alone for a weekend. Would be fantastic.
Okay, I didn't want to get you in the doghouse.
Nothing. Well, my wife knows that. She knows that I'm one of those ones that I would love to just peel off and do nothing.
Well,
by
do that.
myself.
Pick a yourself vacation. Where would it be?
It used to be I'd go to the beach. My parents have a place in Portofino in Pensacola, and it's on the 10th floor of this condo, and it is fantastic. I sit there and I read, and only people I talk to is if I go downstairs or I go to my car and go over the bridge and do a restaurant. Talk to a waiter.
How do you handle like eating alone, going to the movies alone?
Does not bother me.
Doesn't bother you at all. Like
I had a thing when we were doing the show from 10 to 2 on the round table on Jocks. Every Friday, I would go to the 2:15, whatever the new movie was, every Friday. So about 2014 to 2017, I saw every single, even horrible movies, and I didn't have y'all's pass thing. I was paying big money for this because I was a single guy, and I loved it. Like, I don't mind eating by myself. I could go to not just McDonald's. I can go to a nice restaurant by myself and eat and not flinch. Never have. And I would do that when I lived in an apartment. I don't like taking stuff back home. I'd rather just eat it there than take out.
John, do you feel the same way? Do you feel like you could just be completely alone, go into a place, have a really nice... Because I feel like your mindset has maybe changed over the past couple of years.
I can do anything alone except go into a restaurant. I just cannot bring myself to do it. And it's ever since I was at Rutgers, I would go into Manhattan probably 3 or 4 times a week and just wander around. And I would always come up to a cool restaurant and be like, that looks really good. I want to go in there and eat. And the first time I did it, I felt so awkward because I would just eat and I didn't want to pull. This is before you like pulled your phone out a lot and everything. I mean, I had a cell phone, but it wasn't like my computer basically. And I didn't have like all my social media accounts and all that, to where I just remember sitting there looking around being like, I'm a loser. I'm here by myself. I can't talk to anybody.
I think that nobody really, everybody's in their own world.
And I felt so uncomfortable that I cannot go into a restaurant by myself since then. However, I love going to movies alone. I could travel alone. I could do all kind of stuff alone except going into restaurants.
It's weird.
Nick says, I can do anything alone. I'm like Rocky. I used to go to the movies alone all the time. I love going to the movies alone. I love going to the movies with
awesome.
people. I love both. I really do. And I've seen a lot of movies where I'm the only one in the theater. That's always sort of a weird experience, but I enjoy it very much.
Oh, I like it. You get the whole thing to yourself, and especially if, like, so the last movie I did that for was Not Another Church Movie. And so there were certain points where I was just so
Like you're the
bored
only
and
one.
out of it, I would get up and just start walking around the empty theater.
Doing stadiums.
Just stretching, just being like, man, this movie sucks.
I did that in Anyone But You, the Glenn Powell, Sydney Sweeney vehicle that did really well financially, but I was the only one in the theater. And I would just got up and started just sort of walking around in the thing because I was like, I can stretch here. I can be extra obnoxious because there's no one around to judge me.
From what I've heard about that movie, that might have just been to avoid some, certain shots.
There's a lot of shots of male anatomy in that movie.
What movie is it?
There's
What
more,
movie?
There's more than 2.5.
Okay, what's the movie again?
It's called Anyone But You.
Anyone But
Yeah,
You.
You can check that out. Okay,
See
put
if
it in the
there's
queue. Oh man, John,
I just generally don't like people, and so
I'm right there with you, buddy.
So
That's an accurate
doing
statement.
things alone. The thing is, I could eat in a restaurant alone as long as there was nobody else in the restaurant. I could just sit there
They gotta
and not have to
prepare
deal
your
with people. I mean, but they stay in the back. That's okay.
The key, though, is when you're in that restaurant, you're making better dietary choices due to our friends at Way to Wellness and Leslie and her board-certified team.
I am. I don't have to sit there alone and don't have to hide my shame while I'm sitting in a restaurant because I'm eating healthy now, just like I am, just like Tim is, just like Jim Dunaway is, just like my dad is, because we have a plan that works for us, and you can get a plan that works for you. There's Leslie in the background. Our whole board-certified team has us going on the right path thanks to Way to Wellness. APlanforme.com is where you can get that plan that'll work for you, get that free consultation, and, learn more about Way to Wellness.
I think it is very important. It's very healthy to be able to be content with being alone. But then I think it actually enhances your experience when you're with other people because
In certain ways, yes.
yeah, it's like a nice reset. And I really do think it's a healthy thing. We have Nick saying, taking my kids a few times and was about ready to have them wait in the car. That's probably not a good idea there. We have Jace that says
Keep the AC on.
paying to go to a movie and then exercising is a new one. We're not exercising. We're just stretching the legs. There's
I've
a
never
difference.
walked around during a movie. I like sitting there and not having to deal with other people. I would very, very much just sit there and not.
John has had some of the worst theater experiences with other people. I don't know what it is about you that attracts random strangers yelling at you during movies and stuff. I don't have that problem or haven't had that problem a lot.
We have experienced it together, though. I mean, we have experienced people smoking in the theater.
That is true.
And
it's you,
yeah,
though. I figured out it's you that has the bad
Hey,
karma.
somebody was smoking in a theater.
Kong Skull Island.
During
Yeah.
Kong Skull Island, there was a
a
dude
good movie to watch
who
it.
would go down in like the stadium scene, and it's like that wall when you walk in around the corner. He'd go back around so people couldn't see him, but you could see the smoke, you could smell it, and as we walked out, there's cigarette butts all over the
Golly.
wall.
It was one of those things where you're also asking yourself, am I imagining that? I mean, I'm in the jungles of Vietnam here. Am I imagining that I'm smelling smoke and all of this? And it actually ended up, I took pictures and photo evidence and all this.
It was 40 before 40 existed.
Yeah. I remember telling this story on the radio. It's like, man, I went to the movies last night. There was a guy smoking in there. It was really annoying, and it kind of ruined my experience. And then I had all these people call in, why didn't you get up and beat his ass? It's like,
There was one
That's a
person
normal thing to do.
That's
was-
a bit of an escalation.
There was one person specifically who said that, who happens to be a massive Next Round listener, and every time I'm just like, who does that? You wouldn't have done it either.
I'm like, that's
You
probably...
talk a big game, but you'd have sat your butt right there and
What if I picked the wrong guy, too? Because it wasn't something where I saw him smoking. I could just smell it, and I had a suspect.
Did he have a leather jacket?
He did not. But that's a good, that would narrow it
You
down.
don't want to mess with him.
yeah.
Anyway, the worst was when I went to go see the other
He got the
guys.
smokes tucked into his sleeve.
The other guys, and I got hit with change from the top of somebody was throwing change at me. And I went up there and I picked the wrong group that was throwing change. They're like, we're not doing it. And it ended up being this other group, and we ended up having a little issue in the parking lot. But anyway, other than that, it was very weird, very strange issue. But ever since John has started going to movies on his own, basically, even though you weren't at that showing, my life has gotten better with other people.
I have two this year that are close to all timers that I don't really want to get into on the air because it would be divisive as to what they were doing, but it's just not
Now
good.
everybody wants you to get into it.
I've only had two.
Way to tease it.
I've only had one really solid, good movie experience.
It's very
this year.
Jerry Springer, and no one wants that. It's like, no,
I do.
give us the deets.
No, I just.
Okay. Maybe one day.
Were they connecting?
I'm more happy to tell y'all off the air, but
Can we get a 13-part documentary on your experience?
get that
Please.
before you get the Next Round documentary.
Okay. here's what we have. Not 13 parts, but 10 parts to 10 with Tim. I've got 10 questions. We've got 3 willing participants willing to tell all or almost everything. John Lesford holding some things close to the chest. But it kind of goes along with walking around the theater here. Question number 1. Tyler, what is your least favorite form of exercise?
Ooh, I would say running sprints.
Running sprints.
Or doing burpees. Those suck.
Or doing burpees. Does a treadmill frustrate you? It's just not something that...
Yeah, I just get really bored really quickly with just running in a straight line or running around a track. Gotta make it interesting for myself.
Rocky, what is your least favorite form of exercise?
I love, actually, against Tyler, I love the treadmill because I watched, I don't know why, don't ask me, on Netflix I watched the whole series of Prison Break on the treadmill. I think it was 6 seasons. And I just...
That's an odd thing.
Yeah, binge watched that because I was just watching because it's mind-numbing, just like nothing. Like I'm not watching House of Dragon. I'm just watching mind-numbing guys escape from prison. And the least, I hate doing burpees. I think I physically can't do a burpee right now.
Nick says least favorite exercise is just exercising in general.
Agreed.
And exercise is something you got to work in. I've been working in more and more exercise. Right. I like the rowing machine.
I love the rowing machine.
That's a good machine.
Love the rowing machine. Been hitting that. John, what is your least favorite form of exercise?
Mine is also running because it's the one form of exercise when I was playing football and everything that I never felt like I accomplished anything because I was always much slower than all the receivers and defensive backs and running backs and everything. I mean, the linemen are the slowest ones to finish when you're running as a group. Every bit of weightlifting, though, if you lifted the weight, you accomplished something. By running, you're just trying not to die by the time you get done with whatever you're doing. And I would do literally any other exercise other than running.
Jump rope?
I will jump
the
rope.
The beaded jump rope?
I have no problem with burpees. I could do literally anything except I just don't want to run.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, question number 2. John, when staying at a high-rise hotel, would you rather be on the very top floor or the very bottom floor?
Between those two, the very top floor.
Now, I thought you were scared of heights.
I am, but I'm assuming if the hotel has been built and is up to code, which it would not have been built if it was not up to code, I will stay at the top. As long as I don't have to go outside on the top, but I can stay on the top.
Okay.
Also,
hey, you don't want to go on the balcony.
I mean, look, I've been to the top of the World Trade Center back in the day. I've been to the top of tall buildings all over the place. It's just, I mean, it's up there.
City Federal?
I have been to the top of City Federal.
Okay.
You've seen these places that have these glass pools on the edge of the top of the building, right?
Yeah, see, now that's just tempting fate.
Why do that?
If I have just solid floor under me, I'm okay. Yeah. If I look out and see that I'm up high, but I don't want to go out on the deck or the balcony.
If Laurel said, "Hey, let's go to a place that has a glass walkway at a very tall place, whether it's Gatlinburg or whether it's Chicago or whether it's something like that," would you go, "Okay, honey, we'll do that"? Or would you be no, I got to draw the line somewhere?
No, I got to draw the line there. And it also depends on how you get to the room that you're in. If it's a hotel or whatever, there was a hotel, it used to be the Marriott Marquis. I don't know if it's still there in Atlanta or not. But I went for the SEC basketball championship in 6th grade with a friend of mine whose mom was dating somebody who worked for the SEC. So we got these all access passes. It was super fun. And we got these really nice rooms that were at the top of the Marriott Marquis, and the inside, how you got to it is you took the elevator up, and there's a walkway inside that just goes around while looking down.
Yeah.
And I was literally up against the wall, sliding.
Oh my gosh.
To get there because if I got too close. Yeah. There's a hotel in Nashville. It's only 10 stories tall, but it's right next to the arena that is a go-to if we try to go to a Preds game. It's the same way that I have to walk with my shoulder up against the wall of the rooms to get there. Now, once I'm in the room, I'm perfectly fine because I'm not going to go up to the glass and tempt fate and bang on the glass or anything. I'm okay to kind of step back away from it. But when there's a railing, because the railing, there's even glass, there's something physical between you. With the railing, there is something physical between my face and out. It may be down here, but there's nothing physical between my face to where
you're doing the John Cena right now. Do you realize that?
So he'd want to be on the top floor. Obviously.
You know what I can't. You know what I can't see.
That's what I don't understand. Why not take the bottom option?
Between those two, because the bottom has the foot traffic of everybody else. You'd
rather deal with heights than people. Got it.
Correct. Now, if you told me in a 70-story building, where would I rather be? I'd probably choose a nice level 20 or something like that. But Also, typically the nicer things are at the top as opposed to the bottom.
Tyler, going top or bottom floor?
Penthouses aren't on the bottom.
I am also going top floor because I don't want to deal with the foot traffic. I don't want to be laying in bed and hear a bunch of people going in and out of the hotel, down the hall, up the elevator.
Right.
I don't want to deal with
All
it.
fun and games till a fire alarm goes off, and then all of a sudden that's a lot of stairs to go down. Rockstar?
I'm nimble.
If it's my time, it's my time.
I'm indifferent on this one.
Oh,
I could do either. I have been, because if I imagine if it's a tall building like that's a hotel, I'm guessing I'm not by the emergency exit. You're going to have people on the top floor that are obnoxious too. You hear girls going stumbling in at 3 a.m., giggling and stuff like that.
so do we all agree the middle of this place is the best possible place you can be?
Hell, I'd be on the second, but I just don't want to be near the elevator. We're just on either floor, just ding,
Yeah.
ding, or by the ice machine.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 All
Those
right.
are the two landmarks. on
Question
every hotel
number
floor.
3. Tyler, what is the ideal sock length of your preference for yourself?
Depends on the shoes I'm wearing. If I'm going with a low
Clogs.
top, if I'm going with a low top shoe for that day, I'll do an ankle sock because I don't really like the no shows. Those roll off of my
Oh.
heel.
Yeah. EG hit me up with some no-shows because her family's in the sock business, and my daughter was humiliated by me. She was wondering why I was wearing ballerina slippers. They did not fit. They did not go over my heel, but anyway.
But if I've got high tops on like today, I go with a crew sock.
Okay. So all different sizes there, but mainly based on the shoe. That's the most important thing for Tyler. What is the ideal sock length for you?
Summertime, like now, as always, ankle sock. When I get to the winter, if it gets cold, I do a little crew sock and I pull it up. In 8th grade, I was the kid that wore the knee highs.
Oh, yeah.
And like it just looked like I had a leotard on under my gym shorts, and I just can't imagine how hot that is. But I would say 95% of the time it's ankle sock.
John Lunsford?
It
I've only seen you in one size sock forever and always.
Show that leg.
Yep.
Is that?
Yep.
But
Is that considered an ankle sock?
I would say so.
Is what I'm wearing right now considered an ankle sock?
That's more like a quarter sock.
Yeah.
See, yeah,
Quarter
like
sock?
I think
Gosh,
I think that's
mine
quarter
just
cut.
barely shows, like
Yeah.
out of the shoe. But I actually like tall, like knee-high socks that are down a little bit. But I look so goofy in them.
Yeah.
But like, so in high school they made us wear tall socks for football, and like after I get through football, I just push them down a little bit, and that was my preferred sock.
Yeah.
Wearing, and it was okay after football.
It's all
It's like,
scrunched
oh,
up because there's so much material.
it's like, oh, he's just wearing, his socks after football, so it's not that goofy
like a
looking.
scarf.
But if I just showed up to school wearing shorts and that, I would look really goofy, and so I go with this instead.
Rocky, what is a song that immediately makes you think of summer?
I just thought of Boys of Summer, Don Henley,
I think that's fair. That's going to be a top draft choice.
or 311. I don't have a specific song. I'll do All Mixed Up, 311.
Surprised Jimmy Buffett didn't make the cut for you.
Hadn't been this summer. You didn't say this summer. You said summer.
John, what is a song that immediately makes you think of the summer season?
Cruel Summer, because summer's always so stinking hot.
That is my daughter's second favorite Taylor Swift song, I think.
It's probably on Luntz's list of Taylor Swift songs for me.
Tyler, what is a song that immediately makes you think of summer?
Doing Time by Sublime.
Great song.
There we go. I'm not sure. Would I know it if I heard it? Off the top of my head, is it that popular?
Maybe it's one of their more popular songs.
Some female singer just remade it, just redid it.
I don't know it right off the top of my head.
Maybe Lana
based
Del
on the
Rey,
title.
somebody
Do you,
just read
John?
it.
Do you know it right off the top of your head based on the title?
I don't
It's
know.
the summertime.
and the Louisiana, along the Ticonde.
Okay, I don't. It's not.
All right.
It's not clicking with me. I'm gonna have to.
That's how it goes.
Okay. Next question. Name a beverage, John, that you once loved that feels impossible to find these days.
Surge.
That was quick. That was quick. I know you loved Surge. It was
Surge
part of your
was-
gaming history, right?
Surge, and it kind of went away before that. Like middle school time, when I was just a middle school kid wanting to drink as many sodas and eat sugar and all that as possible.
Well, now we have our friends at Way to Wellness.
Yeah, Surge was my go-to, and it came back, I want to say, like when I was in college, and I do think you can still find it occasionally,
You can.
but that's one of those, like when you go to like the World of Coke or something like that, and you can drink Surge because it's just there in front of you as opposed to having to seek it out. It's always really cool.
I remember at summer camp being very thirsty, and the only drink machine they had was a Fruitopia machine.
Oh, yeah.
and it would make me so nauseous, but I would drink it almost
Snapple?
every day.
I drank a little Fruitopia in school. We used to have bottles of Fruitopia.
Does
you could get.
Fruitopia still exist? Is it still something you can purchase?
So
Think
my
so.
school had Fruitopia machines with no Fruitopia. It was just Fruitopia branded.
So it went away a long time ago, is what you're
It
telling
was
me.
discontinued
guess.
in 2003.
Okay, that makes sense.
Been a
'cause
couple
Wait,
years.
I-
That was middle school.
nauseous.
I drank in middle school all the time because they had Fruitopia bottles and
Oh,
Gatorade
gosh.
cans that you used to get. In
Do you remember Orbits?
Yes.
Orbits had those little balls in there, like they're just floating little snot boogers.
I don't remember this.
I don't know if
I know
they.
the
Yeah,
I
it'd
know
be like
Orbit
a
gum,
clear
but I-
soda with these little like gel balls in it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I remember that.
Orbits with the Z.
Tyler, what's a drink that
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
you
yeah.
loved consuming that is impossible to find
I
now?
never really drank it.
Everybody in the chat, I agree with them. It's Squeeze It fruit drinks.
Squeeze it fruit. What? Have we
It's-
been
it's-
living in different universes? Because
No.
the things y'all keep naming, I don't have any sort of
It's-
recollection
it's-
of.
For you, it's probably Kool-Aid.
Those are the ones that had
Coolverse.
like the plastic
Yeah.
tops. You like twist it off the
Yeah.
plastic bottle, and it's,
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I called them Mondos.
No,
No,
those
the
are different
Mondo's
things.
is the barrel one, right?
Yeah, the barrel with a tin foil on
You ever
it.
seen
Yeah.
these?
Mondos.
like
I don't think
twist the
Mondos are the
cap?
barrel. Yeah, I've
Or
seen that.
Mine might have
But I
been the
called those
Kool-Aid
Mondo-
brand. One
called
of
Oh,
them
those.
I know what you're
Mondos.
talking about. This is a little different.
Anyway,
I feel
either
like
that or
everyone's
the
not
Kool-Aid brand version of that.
Okay, Rocky. What is your answer?
Fago.
Just squeeze it
Fago.
in Mondo next.
Yeah,
to each
that's a
other.
Mondo.
But like Mondo, you took off the whole top. Squeeze it. You like just twisted it
turn that
around the
around.
top.
And the
It's
hole
hard-
was
it's
big
hard
enough
to-
for a hummingbird to drink.
Yeah, like it's a little bitty baby hole. This you like took the whole thing off.
Oh.
They're a little different.
Okay, then I've had both.
Like see, it's like around the edge. Like the,
Yeah.
the bottle, the top stayed.
Okay, I've had
But
both.
then that, yeah.
Yep.
Mine
y'all
was
are right.
strawberry Fago. For some reason, I loved that in 4th grade. A strawberry Fago was just pure sugar. And now that I know that the Juggalos, that's one of the Juggalos drinks.
Yeah,
I miss-
Fago still exists.
I miss '90s kids advertising that was
Clearly Canadian.
giving us all this stuff. That
Oh, they brought that back. You can get it at
Yeah.
the gas station right down the
Not the
road.
same.
wow.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
next question. Do you consider yourself, Tyler, to be a good dancer?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Have you ever attempted to dance in public? Is this something that you have attempted?
No,
Okay, just wondering. You don't have to do it here. I just was asking.
I won't.
I would not do that. Rocky, do you consider yourself to be a good dancer? Because you did some dancing there on stage when
No,
we saw you
I-
at the BJCC.
I have let down my guard. I know it's one of those things where I know I can't dance, and I'm not trying to act like I can. I'm just almost playing a character, which makes it feel. It's like if you put a mask on right now, you would dance more confidently than you would. Like if I gave you a Michael Myers mask, I said dance, you really would. You would
Yeah.
dance more
Oh, I'd be
confidently.
an incredible mascot.
Just in your clothes though. Just the mask is all you're wearing. But like, it's just crazy. Like, so I just think of that I have a mask on, and this is just me playing a part. But if you ask me to dance at a wedding, ain't gonna be good.
yeah.
It's like, who's that guy in the mask with the tie-dye hoodie on? I've never seen that hoodie before.
He can move.
John,
I'd
you-
have to have the whole mascot outfit
You
on.
did like a dance routine out in the lobby here recently, didn't you?
No, it was it EG that was talking about being like taking ballet, and she's like, well, I can do this, I can do this. And I was like, "Pfft, I can do that, and I started doing all the exact same poses flawlessly, by the way.
Was perfect form.
Yes,
Olympic judges were impressed.
I'm absolutely a good dancer.
You are. Do you want to
I
show
was
us?
No,
Okay. Do you want to give us an idea of like what it is?
I mean,
that
I
you're
was in
capable
show
of?
choir
What's
for
your
a long
specialty?
time. I don't know that I have a specialty. I was just
Could you do the Dirty Dancing lift with me?
Probably.
probably
Yeah. No, I think we both could.
maybe Tyler.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm not quite as strong as I used to be.
This sounds like a short to me. This
yeah.
sounds like it needs to be on our
I mean,
channel.
But yeah,
Content, yeah.
They crash to the ground and we have an in
His
memoriam.
head-
I'll
Tyler's
risk
head goes to
breaking
the
my
ceiling.
face.
All right, next question. How often do you find yourself, Tyler, inside of a Walmart? How often do you go to Walmart?
Probably every week and a half or so.
Okay, every week and a half. Enjoyable shopping experience for you, or do you want to
Oh,
get in
never.
and out as quickly as
Never.
possible?
Never. I just want to get out of there.
John, if you're looking to avoid people, Walmart is a place I assume you try to avoid like the plague.
correct.
Okay. They do have, I think, the best prices retail that you can find, but it's a question
That's what
of
they say, but isn't that what everybody says?
it's a question of do you want to sacrifice maybe enjoyment of being around other individuals in
Here's
order
the thing.
to
So if I need,
obtain
like-
said goods?
I need a phone charger, let's say. Like, I'm a phone charger broke. I'm more than happy to risk it to go to Amazon, purchase it, and it'll be here within a day or two, and not have to go into Walmart for whatever may exist in the world.
When was the last time you were in a Walmart?
I don't know the last time I was in a Walmart, but I'd say I probably go once, maybe twice a year.
Whew.
Wow.
That is
Do you
Target is
dedication, John.
Target is my wife's favorite place to go, so that
Same here.
satisfies a lot of Walmart
That's the only
requirements.
reason I was asked that the other day. Crazily, we do Target because of proximity. Like
Yeah, it's Target right down the street from my
If it was a
house.
Walmart, it'd be I'd go to Walmart.
No.
It's just proximity. I don't have anything against Walmart. I just don't go. It's too far for me.
Same.
So, Lance, are you someone that would also buy like the Amazon buttons for groceries and use those?
I
Or
have
you not gotten
used
into
those
that?
before.
I gotcha.
But I typically just let my wife handle that, and she goes to Target instead of Walmart. So
All right, then.
I'll say that.
Alrighty.
Nick says Walmart comes to me now. That is one thing that Walmart has realized. Like, the one advantage they have over Amazon is they can do a lot of same-day delivery and a lot of...
I'm more than happy to wait one night to not have to deal with Walmart.
All right, next question.
I did get my Xbox through Walmart, though.
Rocky, are gnats or flies the more annoying pest? Gnats or flies? Which one would you rather
Gnats.
contend with? So gnats is the worst out of the two.
Because sadly, because they're so small. Flies, I think you can distract better. I'm making this up on the fly. And I included the name of the insect.
Yes.
But gnats, I don't know. I can't stand gnats. Flies don't bother me because when you're eating outside, I get it. There's flies, but if there's gnats everywhere, it's so much worse.
You ever seen the movie The Fly? Jeff Goldblum?
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
If that was in the Dune popcorn bucket, have you seen that movie, John?
I have seen it.
Oh, okay. So it wouldn't gross you out to the point where you'd be
No,
like,
I have seen it. I don't necessarily care to watch it again. And
I don't know if
I
anybody
definitely don't
who
watch
says...
the sequel.
I
What
don't
about
know.
Earth Girls Are Easy?
I have not seen that.
What?
Jim Carrey.
I
David
know
Williams,
the
Jeff
one thing
Goldblum.
that's in there for Rockstar. Yeah.
Yep.
The Fly is something you don't hear people saying, you know what, it's a Friday night, I'm going to order a pizza, go home and watch The Fly.
Yeah.
You don't ever hear anybody say that. John Lunsford, gnats or flies, which one are the more annoying of the two?
That's easy.
And Tyler, are you going to make it a clean sweep for gnats?
If you're outside, gnats for sure.
So
But-
originally,
Now, what if you're in your bedroom?
Well, if you're living in an apartment, sometimes you have to contend with neighbors who don't clean up very regularly, and that will invite flies into your place. That's very annoying.
originally this was going to be gnats versus mosquitoes because I felt like gnats was the clear answer, but I feel like mosquitoes would win easily over gnats.
Yes.
I feel like
Yes.
so that wasn't
100%.
much of a competition.
Yes.
Okay, move on to this. Have you ever had a desire, Rockstar, to pilot anything in the air before? Have you ever had a desire to be a pilot of any sort? Helicopter pilot,
Absolutely
airplane
not.
pilot,
Absolutely not.
hot air balloon pilot?
Oh, that maybe no. Been in a hot air balloon, it just fries the top of your head. It's so hot. No, I've had no desire to. It's just that's a panic attack to me. Too many buttons. It's like saying if there's an 18-wheeler outside, Sean, got to start it and get it down the hill. There's no way I could do
You
it.
understand where people, they watch you on a daily basis and they go, I don't know how you deal with all the buttons you have to deal with in
Right.
your command center. Like,
But I don't have y'all's lives at stake.
well, depends on who you ask.
Yeah, I'm like I'm not like I can't just.
If you're Jim Dunaway,
Is he on Wikipedia and he's supposed to be flying the helicopter? Guys, I got it. We're on, it's okay weather right now.
Sean's on E-Bombs World again. No.
It's a great site still.
The thing is, we'll be sitting there and I won't have my earbuds in because he has the speaker loud enough where I can hear it, and it'll just cut off. And I see they're still talking. I'm like, oh God, what happened? And then I'll hear just like a fart noise or something, and he's watching some funny video on
I'm trying to.
YouTube
I'm
or E-Bombs World.
Always
or,
looking for trash opens, guys. Always looking for trash.
A lot of public freak out, public
Yes.
argument videos. Those
Yes.
are good.
That's funny.
Which I have a new trash. He wants a new trash open. We need to discuss after the show. By the way,
Oh, I know which one it's going to be.
this is an old thing from the Zone days.
Oh, from the Zone days.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Oh, I thought it was from the
That
Meltdown days.
just reminded me. But
I thought it was from this era. Tyler, have you ever wanted to pilot anything before in your life? Have you ever wanted to be an airline pilot or fly something in the skies?
Not enough to actually put action towards it, but it would be cool to learn how to fly.
Okay, so you would dabble in flying.
I would
Like-
dabble in it.
Like I had no interest in a flight simulator, like one of those. I'd have no interest in doing that. And that's on the ground.
Yeah, I took flight simulator class in 7th grade, and
I could have taken flight
Yeah,
simulator
yeah.
class.
Where did you go to school?
it was a computer program. It was basically like playing a video game, but everybody was so. It was gosh, what was it? I don't remember the name of the class, but it was very much like you pick different trades to learn and stuff, and mine was being a pilot on this flight simulator. And everybody was too nervous to do
Cardinal does
it.
do like trade stuff, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Like, that makes sense.
But it was very intriguing. John Lunsford.
I'm with Tyler. I would like to learn for the sake of, like, I think it'd be cool to be able to do that.
Like a stealth bomber.
That way, when you're on a plane one day and it's like, oh my gosh, the pilot passed out, we need somebody to help.
One day I took a lesson.
Yeah, I can jump up in there and do it. It's like I played a TIE
Pilot
fighter
wings.
simulator for Star Wars one time, but I have no desire to actually be like, I have to learn how to be a pilot because I'm scared of heights.
We're going to answer this question out loud, but I want first dibs in it, and I want y'all to tell me if I'm right or wrong on it. The question is, of the TNR Meltdown people, who would you have the most confidence in to land a plane? Now, I'm going to say this first and foremost. The person that would have the most confidence in themselves in landing the plane would be Lance Taylor.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. But the person that I'd actually
Far
trust
from who I'd want.
to land the plane the best would be probably... I'm probably going John Lunsford.
I would agree.
You say that you would believe that would have the least or the most likely.
He'd have the most likely chance.
If we were all on
give
a-
him the
if we were on a
reins, if he
private
had the
jet,
better
yes,
life.
to
I
put
would
somebody up
take
there.
Lunsford, yes.
Because not only you have all the technology that he has to contend with, but also the hand-eye coordination that he's built upon for years to try to do this. And also, you know, Lunsford's the type where he's very competitive and he's going to want to actually land the plane and compared to freak out in the last 5 seconds.
Correct.
And
Well,
then
see, that's the
everything
thing.
goes south.
I would want, if any of you want to step up and try this, go for it. Because then, if you mess up, I can hold that over you forever.
Oh, you can't.
After we're
We've
dead.
all
You
been
can't.
there.
No, hold on. So if it's something like, let's say the pilot has passed out and there's one of us has to
Right.
do something, we would start our descent into madness pretty quickly. Once,
Captain Payday is asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, once Captain Payday
Never.
2 took
Why
over.
never get in the plane with him?
Once Captain Payday 2, Lance Taylor took over, we'd start free falling pretty quickly. And then that's when I would be like, out of the way, move out. Because I feel like the less time I have to fix something, the better I will be at figuring it out. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like in the panic, I would be willing to somehow figure out how to land it.
Tyler says it's Scott by a mile.
Scott is up there. Now
I agree. Scott's in contention.
I personally, because it is me, believe in myself, obviously. But if I had to pick somebody other than me,
Could he be your co-pilot in
would
the
be Scott.
emergency?
I don't know if I could fit
Yes,
in the...
I would get Scott to be my co-pilot.
I don't know if I could fit there in even the contraption to do it. I'd just be holding on. That would be it. But okay, that's a whole separate question, but a very interesting conversation. Okay, we can move on to this. What's a birthday party theme that you fondly remember having, Rockstar, at some point in your life, preferably at a younger age? Something
can't-
where you
I
were
can't do the
like,
recent couple years.
preferably younger.
I had a stretch for probably 3 or 4 years of McDonald's, and it was the McDonald's on Green Springs because it had the downstairs.
Oh yeah.
And that was the coolest thing ever. I did that for 2 or 3 years, and it was showbiz. Like I was never a big birthday kid.
Let me interrupt because I've never been to the McDonald's on Green Springs during this
Doesn't-
era.
it didn't-
During
Doesn't
this
exist
era.
anymore.
During this era. So what? It had a downstairs. Like,
It's just
explain
something
that
you-
to me.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing because every McDonald's I've been to doesn't have a downstairs. There's nothing impressive. It was just chairs and tables. That was it. Like it was-
Imagine if this room was McDonald's, okay?
Okay.
In the middle right here, so you come in the door, there's seating there, over there, the counters right here, seating here, but in the middle, there's the staircase that goes down.
Yeah.
And imagine like a private room in a restaurant or something.
Just
and there's
being
seating,
a kid,
there's
like I've
seating
never
down there.
seen this, and I want to go to can I have my birthday party in there? Like sure, people just do drugs down there.
Now, the McDonald's on Green Springs is not that location anymore. It
No,
turned into like
it's
a
a jewelry.
it's like a tax thing and it's a jewelry thing.
Yeah.
It's been a bunch of things. It's down the street from it. It's between that McDonald's and a gas station. That's the new one. I guess they thought that's not a cool thing anymore, so they built a new one like right next
Well, I'm
to it.
sure
But
because a lot of shenanigans happened.
that
down there.
was awesome back
What
in the
happened
day,
to the video games at McDonald's?
There were video games at
Oh,
McDonald's.
they had like a-
yeah, y'all don't remember. You
64,
don't remember that?
Nintendo
Tim?
64.
there's an original Nintendo game I remember playing back in the day.
No.
And I remember the one.
Oh,
in-
yeah.
You guys just messing with me
No,
today.
I'm
There was one
pretty
in
sure I
Trust-
played Billy Hatcher at a McDonald's for the first time.
And I remember the cool one during soccer tournaments was there's one in Trustville that had a big tube of bubbled water that just goes. Oh, that's still open. It was just this big column of this water that flowed.
I played in a ball pit.
Sega, not Nintendo. McDonald's Treasureland Adventure, a 1993 platform game developed by Treasure, published for Sega for the Sega Genesis. Based on McDonald's fast food chain, specifically its McDonald Land marketing campaign, players controlled Ronald McDonald in its efforts to retrieve the missing pieces of a map that led to the location of a buried treasure from a group of villains.
A group of villains.
Y'all are blowing my mind today of things I missed in my childhood.
Kind of like a Sonic game, but with Ronald McDonald, and you gotta like get past Hamburglar and Grimace and all that stuff.
But yeah, McDonald's and showbiz for me. I didn't do anything like what kids do now. I never had like some huge elaborate thing. It was just,
Tyler, what is a birthday party theme that you remember having fondly as a child?
I remember doing a Scooby-Doo themed party at Chuck E. Cheese, and I did a Star Wars themed party at McDonald's.
Very nice. Very nice. And now in your adulthood, you can have an Acolyte themed birthday party the next time it rolls around. What month's your birthday?
I don't think they're making any merchandise out of that.
What month is your birthday?
February.
Oh, okay. All right. Right around the corner. John Lunsford?
I'm trying to remember themes. I mean, like I had birthdays at Skates 280 that were probably my favorite ones.
well, that was like 2 years ago, though.
I mean, that was a long time ago. I don't think
You
it
have
was
like a Power Rangers birthday party?
Not
Did
that
you
I
get Tim
remember.
to DJ?
No.
I did skate and rink DJ for a long time.
Yeah. I remember when I was young having a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese that I had a Superman cake, but it was disgusting looking. It had this like blue like gel on it instead of like
That's
normal
why you
icing.
hate James Gunn's
Yeah,
Superman. Childhood trauma.
Yeah, I don't remember like a theme to any of them though, if I'm being honest.
Had a bunch of Batman parties.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah, had a bunch of Batman parties. Okay, that's going to do it for 10 with Tim. We appreciate everybody who played along, especially in the chat. And if today happens to be your birthday, happy birthday from all of us here at the Meltdown Crew. We had that question specifically for you. All right, let's get into the box office. Deadpool and Wolverine, speaking of superheroes, dominating the worldwide box office, $824.1 million in worldwide ticket sales. John, what do you make of the tremendous amount of success that this movie has and is continuing to have here to wind down the summer season?
It's the only Marvel movie this year, so if you wanted to get your superhero fix, this is where you can get it. It is the merging of Fox and Disney together, so anybody that was like, I don't really care about the MCU, but I liked X-Men, you can go see it. There's a million reasons to want to go see it.
It is the movie of the moment.
It is, and it will continue to be this week and maybe next. I'm trying to remember what comes out next week, but it will continue to be number one, I believe. And
Next week is the movie you're skipping.
oh yeah, Alien. Alien will take over the premium formats though.
It will.
It
From
does.
Borderlands, though. Borderlands will take a lot of premium formats, too.
Not here.
Really?
Yeah, I think I have to go see it at the Summit because it's not
Yeah.
IMAX. It's not. Now I know
I didn't-
we're Birmingham, so don't get me
Right.
wrong. We only have two premium formats, period. But
So Deadpool and Wolverine completely took the premium formats from Twisters. But Deadpool and Wolverine will split up around the country some of those premium formats. With Twisters, it was some of those, but it will be splitting it up with Borderlands here coming up this week.
just knowing how it is here, and I guess in other small places around the world like Birmingham, it will continue to hold very well. And I think we'll be number one this weekend again, just because I feel like Borderlands doesn't have a wide appeal to it. And then, Alien Ramos will definitely take all this over. Probably pass it, but it'll still do well for itself.
Everybody loves the team up of Deadpool and Wolverine. I love the team up of Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian over on Grants Mill Road. They are something we can be proud of here in the Birmingham area for sure. They are the two individuals that you should trust to be your dental team. For years, I was absolutely terrified of going to the dentist after experiencing some of the worst dental work of my life. That's when I met the heroes of my story, Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian over on Grants Mill Road. They are very flexible with their office hours open until 7 o'clock tonight. So make sure you go ahead and make them the dentist of choice for you and your family. Give them a call. Become a new patient today. They are accepting new patients at 205-956-8977. That's 956-8977. Or you can visit alabamadental.com for more information as they look forward to seeing you. And John, I hope you look forward to seeing Dr. Brian because he's going to be playing poker with us tonight, and he extracted plenty of cash from us last time.
Yeah, I just like to point out, as much trash as he has talked to me over time,
He has.
it was a night in which you and I both spent a lot of money.
Yes.
I finished one spot out of the money. You finished in the money. So we both finished okay. He ended up winning, but don't forget, he also rebought a lot of times as well, and he cannot do that tonight. Now, we can't either.
He cannot.
But he cannot do that tonight, so I'm more than willing to send him packing early.
But I bet you he's willing to put his money where his mouth is. Alabama Dental Associates. Okay, let's go with number 2 here at the box office, Twisters. This is a movie that I had been passionately wanting almost everybody in the office to see, including Rockstar, and we had the week from Hades that week where everybody was scattered. There were so many different things, different schedules. We didn't get Rocky to go see Twisters. Rockstar, do you have any sort of desire to see this movie that is I think, summer crowd pleaser for sure?
You know what? I would be more interested to see that than Wolverine Deadpool.
Yeah. I
would see that tonight. I cannot get into Deadpool. And but Twisters, I'm not like against it. Still haven't seen the original, but I was all about seeing it, and I just cannot get myself into Wolverine Deadpool.
Do you think Rocky would love Twisters? I think he would go like.
I think he'd say, yeah, it was okay.
I think he'd think that it was pretty stupid, but that he would have some fun with it.
Story wise and all that, yes, he would probably be more on my side on the Glenn Powell train.
Well, respect
just from that movie. You think you would respect the CGI and the carnage and everything.
Christopher Nolan would have made tornadoes.
He would have.
That is true.
But I think you'd walk and be like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. It was okay. I don't care to see it again.
It racked up $195.6 million domestically to this point of its run. It is not done as well overseas, but it is really doing well here in North America, down just 35% week over week, which is a really strong hold. And this is a movie that audiences seem to really, really enjoy. Okay, I got to get into this movie next. It is Trap, starring Josh Hartnett, coming in the third spot. I think a disappointment that this movie did not come in second place based on...
I didn't think it would.
I was feeling pretty confident that it would come in second place this weekend based on the fact that this trailer alone has been one of the most viewed over the course of the year. That doesn't always equate to success because word of mouth, we've talked about the importance of it. And this is a movie that I went in with a 5-star hype level to see Trap. I think, Tyler, you went into this movie with a 5-star hype level.
I did.
Of like really excited for this because the premise of a serial killer stuck at a concert with his daughter while the feds are closing in, which is all in the trailer there, is one that got people talking about like, that's really interesting. But the movie, I've never seen a movie dry up in momentum so much as Trap did. And I was so baffled by how stupid this movie got in the third act.
Yep.
Like, blown away. Like, this was like, okay, it's doing it. Okay. Saw that in the trailer. Okay. It's hitting its marks. Okay. All right. For 2/3. And I was like, this is fun. This is fun movie. And then it's like, how do we start to wind this down? And an hour goes by and you're like, they're not doing well with this. Like, it's just such a mess in the third act. And if you look back at this, if you take the emotion out of like the hype of seeing it, like on paper, this is one of the stupidest movies I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely.
I mean,
like,
it's so dumb.
If you were just
so
to do
bad.
like a Cliff's Notes of the plot,
right,
and just leave out just all the different misdirects and all the little tricks M. Night pulls out, it's awful and makes absolutely no sense.
The non-spoiler review of this is, if you watch the trailer, you know the premise of the movie is Josh Hartnett is a serial killer who has been trapped at this concert and has to find his way out. How will he find his way out? Go see the movie, right? That's basically the premise. It's like M. Night Shyamalan thought this is a cool idea and had no earthly idea on how to actually get him out. And the whole third act is just, oh crap, I came up with a cool idea, but I don't know how to finish it now. AI, do it for me or something. And then that's how it ended.
Just a series of Deus Ex Machinas.
Go watch our spoiler review.
I watched the spoiler review. Y'all did a wonderful job on it. But, I mean, it is literally one of the worst written third acts of a movie I can remember that has so much potential and promise. Like, I think you give this to anybody for a rewrite and it's immediately better because there was so much setup that was so good.
Overall, we all gave the movie the exact same score. This is probably one of the few movies we've actually agreed on this year. And overall, it's a thumbs up. It's like been a great plane ride. You're in first class. It's really cool. And then instead of landing on a runway, it crashes into a mountain instead.
Oh, wow.
Like, I mean, the ride was cool.
I would equate it to you're in a beautiful car that runs out of gas, and then all of a sudden it's like it
crashes into a mountain.
It crashes into a mountain. Yes,
like,
John.
Damn, there's a lot of hills around here.
Oh my gosh! But anyway, Trap is a movie I wanted to champion. It's a movie that I thought would perform better, but it requires word of mouth, and the word of mouth on this one is not good. There's a lot of people that are like, "What in the world did it do with the perfect setup?" And I'm one of those people. It really did not deliver for me. Now, maybe the most I've laughed in a theater all year long. I mean, I was cackling laughing during certain parts of this.
I don't
And
know
my
that I laughed
audience,
out loud at all.
my audience was screaming at the screen things, and they were yelling. I mean, it was like, but other people you could tell were just annoyed that it became such a crowd interactive piece. Now I'm at a sold out showing on a Saturday night, and it was just a very disappointing movie the way that thing trended. So, Trap, I gave a 3.5 out of 5, and I think John, you gave it a 3.5. We all gave it 3.5. Okay, so that's where we're at with Trap, making $15.6 million.
Like you asked me, kind of do it on the fly, and I mentioned on Thursday while we were playing, and I mentioned Twisters in second because M. Night Shyamalan is just a hard sell in general. Now that doesn't mean he hasn't done really good movies. Yeah. He has also done really bad stinkers too, but I feel like it's just a hard sell in general for him. And they sold the twist, which this movie still very much has a twist, but they gave it to you in the trailer to where it's
they gave you a major piece of information that they felt like was vital to get you to come sit down and buy a ticket.
That, I would have almost been more excited had they not told me that in the trailer, because I would have thought it's in my Shyamalan. Oh, the twist is he's a serial killer. That's cool. As opposed to what ended up actually happening.
I think they were worried about if that information leaks that nobody will go see it, because they're like, oh, okay, I know the big thing is, Josh Hartnett's a serial killer. So they felt like they had to give that. So you're going the whole time like,
nobody went to go see it.
Oh man, what is the big twist now? So not a lot of people went to go see it. It cost $35 million to make. That's not including the marketing behind it. Shyamalan, he financed a lot of that himself. And so it didn't need a gigantic opening, but it's still going to struggle to break even now, when I thought this was going to be a real dark horse to become a financial success, to where I thought it would be over $100 million during its run because of the hype surrounding the setup.
Jay said it's like being in first class for your great plane ride, and then you see Lance heading to the cockpit to land the plane.
There you go. Despicable Me 2, yes. Despicable Me 2 and Inside Out 2 continue to hold really well.
Despicable Me 4.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Unless they did a re-release.
I apologize. Despicable Me 4, Inside Out 2. Yes, that is exactly right. Harold and the Purple Crayon 1, though, however, did not find an audience.
Oh, dang.
That should have been like a Netflix movie or something, I feel like.
Zachary Levi with another miss.
I just want to know, do kids still read doll books? Like a Roald Dahl?
Roald Dahl, yeah. I mean...
That movie
I'm just wondering, like, what the market is for it.
Here's what I want to know: how did Trap cost $35 million to make, and this movie cost $40 million to make? Harold and the Purple Crayon cost $40 million to make.
Because it has a ton of CGI.
I guess, but it's not going to earn it back after making $6 million this weekend.
Well, I heard that and thought, where is M. Night spending his money? Could have made Trap for a lot cheaper.
He had to pay his daughter for her on-screen time there.
I had to buy a lot of set design for her stage. I mean, outside of Charlie and Chocolate Factory, have any of his been turned into incredibly successful movies?
Incredibly successful,
no.
I mean, I know Steven Spielberg did the BFG, like that's one.
Yeah, they did James and the Giant
Peach, which was one of my favorite growing up. Yeah. It didn't do anything. Like, it's hard to adapt those into movies, I feel like. They're all great stories that we all remember, but it's hard to make movies.
Long Legs holding well there at the number 7 spot. A Quiet Place Day 1 still in the top 10. And then this ended up creeping up into the top 10. It's a movie that I watched this past weekend for the first time. Bad Boys Ride or Die. Watched it this past weekend. I know, John, you said that was the most you've laughed in a theater this year.
It's by far the best movie experience.
And
it's a good one.
For me, right, so I had complaints, Rockstar, about Road to Perdition and the gunplay in that. I really hated it. The gunplay in this is an A++. A++ gunplay.
They even go video game first person style in it.
I've not seen a movie since John Wick 4 where I've been as impressed by what I've seen with the gunplay than in Bad Boys Ride or Die. I mean, it's really impressive.
My only complaint with John Wick 4, the gunplay is fine, but every single bullet gets stopped by going that with their jacket, and it drives me nuts. Every single bullet gets stopped, but like there's Kevlar in this napkin, so it's going to stop everything. It's just weird to me.
Martin Lawrence got attacked by a crocodile. And
whoa, spoilers.
Sorry, but he ends up getting his arm. I mean, he's perfectly fine afterwards, so I don't know about all that.
At least bleeds. I mean, my whole thing with the Kevlar jackets in John Wick, I feel like the last couple movies has been a thing, right?
Yeah.
If you were to put Kevlar into this where it could still move, like in the way a jacket could still move, a bullet can still go like that. It doesn't go through it. The jackets don't
special
move.
Jackets.
But
you're talking about a guy that's taking on 500 people with a handgun. But
that's
this
like saying my hood still can go up and be smooth and everything. It's got Kevlar
This is
in
from
it.
the
It's-
Fast and the Furious
And
guy. where
people
they
that ride
drop
dragons.
cars from space.
I tried to expect more from John Wick than Fast and Furious, where I know it's stupid.
Okay. All right, that's going to do it for our box office recap, but Bad Boys Ride or Die.
You didn't mention the movie
number 10 spot.
I think Sean would have liked the best.
Mother's Instinct?
Cat Video Fest 2024
Oh,
came in
What?
at 16th.
what about Mother's
I
Instinct?
just randomly saw that when I pulled the list up. It beat out Sing Sing, which is going to win Best Picture this year. It beat out Maxine. It beat out all
Well,
kinds
Sing
of stuff.
Sing might do better if they put it in
know, it's
more
only
than
a-
like a theater.
It's only
a
in 18
single
theaters.
theater.
But are you nervous at all, John, that you're giving Sing Sing the Best Picture when we haven't even seen the movie yet? You may hate it.
I may hate it. I just, from everything I have heard, it's perfect to everybody that's seen it. And there's a lot of other movies we haven't even had trailers for, haven't even been released yet, that everybody says is actually going to win. I just think it's one that will definitely get nominated and have a good chance to win.
We should be able to find out for ourselves next week.
When Dune Part 2 re-releases,
Wide release is scheduled for the 16th.
because Dune Part 2 will re-release on the big screen in order to try to get some awards momentum again.
It'll
Tyler,
be
are you going to go
nominated,
see
too.
it again in the theater when it comes back out?
I mean, I'll have to refresh myself for award season, right?
This will officially break my Oppenheimer record if you go see it a 6th time, I think.
I'm either at 6
Yeah.
now or I'm
I
at
think
5.
y'all
I
are
don't
tied
know.
at 5 right now.
Okay. Okay. Well, I just need an Oppenheimer re-release, Nolan. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Okay, we all made our way through House of the Dragon Season 2. The season finale was last night. We will be getting into a couple of House of the Dragon spoilers. If you feel like you've been putting that off and you wanted to wait to watch that tonight, this is your sort of warning that we are going to get into what we thought about Season 2 of House of the Dragon, as John is going to take a look at the acting chops that were shown here in Season 2 specifically. There's a lot of contenders for the overall series that won't be included in the Season 2 possibilities because their characters met and exit there in Season 1. So I'm interested to see where we go with this next direction of Luntz's List.
What is this? What is this? Nonsense list, nonsense list, oh. What is this? What is this? Nonsense list, nonsense list, oh. Long since this to find, long since this to find, long since this to find, long since this to find.
All right, it is now time for the Luntz's List of 5 standout acting performances. These can be roles big or small. It's just completely up to John in which direction that he wants to go for the best acting performances of Season 2 of House of the Dragon. We all got a chance to watch it. Our spoiler-filled season recap and review is going to be out with Brian Pavlik, who joined us earlier today, and that will be here on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed so you do not miss it. John, how did you approach this list? Because typically I try to give you about 24 hours notice on a list, and this one I gave you about 20 minutes
24
notice.
seconds. Yeah, this is a list that there's some people that when I watch this series, I think there's going to be greatness from this person. I don't know that I've seen enough yet to fully make that, so I don't know that any of these roles are small necessarily. But there's the occasional role where it's like I've either read ahead as master of spoilers into the story to see what happens and realize, oh, this person may be bigger coming up. And that's kind of how it was with the Dragon Seeds at first. Like I knew a couple episodes in, I'm like, why are these people constantly on my screen? Oh, that's because there's a storyline with them. That's, you know, it ended up kind of sort of paying off. And there's characters like that I'm not quite ready to put on the list, but I am looking forward to it. Next season very well make the list, but these are all for the most part main characters from within here, and really only one that's kind of an oddball choice, but I don't know. That's all I got to say.
We'll start off with number 5. John did manage to spoil a return for me last night in House of the Dragon because the episode leaked online, you know. House of the Dragon episode 8 leaked online a couple of days before it came out.
Oh.
And I was like, have you seen that the episode leaked? And he just immediately went into one of the biggest spoilers of the thing. And I'm like, oh, no.
You let him into it, though.
I guess so.
Yeah, it was like, did you see this thing? Yeah, I saw this thing. Why did you say that?
No. It was my second follow-up was going to be, you know,
Don't tell me about it.
don't tell me anything about it. But it was like, did you see that it leaked? Yes, big spoiler. It's like, oh, gosh. Okay. I'm not going to be upset about it.
Also, could have been done. That spoiler I said could have been done a lot better. I think But go watch the episode and see for yourself. There are a couple of major spoilers in there.
Number 5 is Aemon. You can't read it because our wide shot just
Sorry.
got out of focus. Nah, you're good. The camera just...
Yeah, everything
doing its thing.
everything went to hell last week on
Yeah.
Friday, which is why we're like 10 minutes late, and it hasn't fixed itself. So, anyway, number 5, Aemon. Ewan Mitchell, for some reason, his limited role in Saltburn has made me like him a lot more. He's in Saltburn for about 5 minutes at the beginning.
Where is he in Saltburn? I'm trying to remember.
So when Barry Keoghan first goes to school and he meets what's his name, Jacob Elordi, he first becomes friends with a nerdy guy with glasses on who's like a major math nerd. And remember, they're like sitting there on opening night and like eating or something like that. And he's like, "Ask me a math question." "I don't want to ask you a math question." "Ask me a effing math question." And like he screams at him. And then they all go to a party.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Man, everybody was invited to that party except me." He's like, "It's just you and me. We were both NFI." And I won't tell you what that stands for. Anyway, he's mildly funny in that role. It's the only thing I've seen him in outside of House of the Dragon that I can consciously remember. But I think he played the role of like a young, shy child when he's at the brothel to then like crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of now, and I'm trying not to spoil a lot of what's happened, but
No, you
all
can get-
that happened
you
a few
can get
weeks
into
ago. So, but he's turned from, I'm the one that wasn't chosen, and the whole reason Aegon was chosen to begin with was because she misinterpreted the whole dream with Viserys and all that at the end of last season. But
debatable.
not really debatable
No,
anymore.
not debatable, you
Not
traitor.
debatable.
Yeah, not
Debatable.
even remotely debatable.
Debatable.
But Aemon I always thought would have been the better choice of the two children. And I think we're seeing now that he is a meaner choice, but ultimately a better ruler. I think.
Is he?
I think so, because
Everyone hates him.
He's at least doing something. What did Aegon do?
Nice.
Went out to battle to get burned when he wasn't even supposed to be in battle.
Correct. He has done nothing but be a disappointment. And Aemon is at least
Starving his people.
he's trying to get something done. He's at least trying to be strategic in the war. Aegon just sat there bored and
if
had to get his mom
ruthlessness-
to do
yeah.
everything for him. And I'm not saying he's the leader I would want. I would not vote for him. But he at least is getting something done. And I think he has portrayed, this is not about me liking the character or not necessarily, but he portrayed the way he was at the beginning of the season versus the way he is now. He's had a major shift in his character arc. He played the role of like when they went to the brothel and they found him really well versus how he is now. Kind of that mild, person who also at the drop of a hat can have your dragon eat somebody too. I think he's played both of those roles very well.
All right, let's move on to number 4. I believe Aemond also the only fully nude actor on your list, I would assume.
He's the only one that's been.
Why did that come to mind?
I mean,
because it was a big scene
don't
with Aemond.
know
big
why,
scene.
but is he the only one that has been?
When he's disgraced and embarrassed at the brothel, it changes every bit of his.
It does, but is that the only scene that we've actually seen from anybody that's like actually a named actor
Yep.
in it?
This
I think
season.
so.
At least this season.
Yeah. All right.
I wasn't wearing 3D glasses with popcorn during that, Tyler.
I didn't have popcorn either.
I didn't
Major-
accuse you of
He
that.
only did
but
that to
now-
anyone but you.
That is true. I'm sorry. I was told this movie was in 3D. Give me some glasses. Number 4, Sir Simon Strong. And I like this choice. I do. I like this choice because, Friar Tuck is who you constantly reference
Yes.
him
Yep.
as.
Your Grace.
The whole way he acts of like this confused, why are you here? To also like, I'm going to help you through these crazy visions. I can tell you're going through some stuff. To at the end, like creeping around, trying to figure everything out, reaching out to people. Like there's a lot to him that he seems very mild and meek kind of on the surface, but he's also willing to do what needs to be done. And he ultimately holds the power there, even though Damon pretends like he holds the power there. Simon Russell Beale is the name of the actor who plays him. And I thought he was played pretty well. I thought that aspect of things was played pretty well. As much as we all hated the Harrenhal experience, I thought his aspect of things was actually done really well.
Yeah, definitely. And he plays a major role here in episode 8 of sort of bringing two giant forces that have been apart for so long, and Rhaenyra and Daemon, and joining them again, and a decision being made that is going to have major ramifications in season 3 for sure. So
He's somebody I would have on my council. I think he could advise me well.
yeah, I don't know if Daemon ever fully trusted him though.
I'm not having the crazy nightmares that Damon is. I trust him a little more because I've seen what the camera shows.
Let's move on to number 3 on Luntz's list: best acting performances of House of the Dragon season 2.
Eric is with an A. The good one.
I'm so glad we're past that.
Roman Reigns. I'll take it.
Yeah,
looks right.
We'll give it to you.
We'll accept it.
Now, let me also say I do still like the younger one probably better.
I agree with that.
I like younger her and older Alicent better, but
That's the nicest thing you've said about Team Green.
I mean, I got to pick one of them for Alicent and one of them for Rhaenyra. But I thought Rhaenyra was, for being ultimately the main character, was a little underutilized this season. And I get you had to show Daemon and his nightmare journey. You have to obviously show what's going on with the Greens and the King's Landing and all. But
Did we though?
I mean, I get you got to show the story, and that's how the story is. But I thought when she was on screen, she did well. I thought her grieving at the beginning was done well, and then kind of her screw it, let's go attack at the end was done decently. Overall, I mean, I think you have to have certain people work to make this show work. And I'd say the same thing for Game of Thrones, and I think like Emilia Clarke was a very good Daenerys, which is why she's one of the, I did a list of like my favorite TV characters, and she was on there. Kit Harington had to work for Jon Snow. Doesn't work for literally anything else on the planet apparently, but it worked for Jon Snow.
Definitely doesn't work as a werewolf, I'll tell you that.
I was about to say that. But I thought Emma D'Arcy, or however you say it, was very good this year.
Yeah. Would have liked a little bit more to work with in the script, but
Yeah, I don't fault her for that.
I don't fault her for that either. But she had to kind of be not so sure of herself during times of this season, and then appear stronger and stronger as the weeks went on. And that certainly did evolve the character here as the adult Rhaenyra who seeks the Iron Throne. Let's go ahead and move on to number 2 of Luntz's list: best acting performances from season 2 of House of the Dragon. James says, "Hey Tim, when is the fantasy football draft? Anybody know?" I'm gonna say unlikely.
I think you'll have to ask Josh that question. I think he said it was going to be like Labor Day weekend.
Okay,
So I don't know.
whoa,
Corliss Williamson.
Number 2,
Once
Corlys Valerian.
A very underutilized character, but every time he's on the screen,
He gets older and older every episode.
I enjoy his character. He's just I would consider this a minor character overall because he's not on the screen enough. But I really like his arc.
what's he had to work with?
2 sons.
A dead wife.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought
Slade Dragon.
the aftermath of that. Now, the storyline for him, I'm not necessarily a big fan of. I'm a big fan of the actor and the performance that goes with Corlys. I would have liked to have had more with the scene with him and Adam, because like Adam is a character that I'm not going to include on this list, but I could see myself really liking next season. And the same with Hugh as well. Like very minor characters, but I hate Ulf, but I like Hugh. I like Adam. Like I'd like to see more from them. I would like for them. I don't know what their ends are. I haven't looked that far ahead, but I would like to see like a happy ending for them. Even though I don't think anybody in the story gets a happy ending. But like, I think you could have had one of the best scenes.
Gonna make an Aemon joke. Continue.
I think you could have said, even though we never, he's in the brothel the whole time. You never actually saw anything.
He only saw half of
I
it.
mean, you saw it. You just didn't see anything happen. I think there could have been potentially one of the best scenes of the season had the writing allowed for it. This is not a thing about Corlys and the actor, but the scene when Corlys comes into Adam after he's shown up as the Dragon Rider, like I think there could have been a really good scene of like accepting, oh man, like you're somebody, and accepting watching Tyler with that mic clip. And, you know, obviously acknowledging like, hey, that's his bastard son. You know, I'm glad you made something of yourself. I think there could have been a really good, basically father and son scene there that they didn't do, which is disappointing. But I like every time that Corlys is on screen. I did in season 1. I do now too.
So disappointing for me and how underutilized he was. But
I agree.
Let's go ahead and move on to number 1 of Luntz's list. I think I know where we're going here.
Sea Smoke?
No, I think it's going to have a coreless tie.
Sea Smoke?
I don't think it's going to be Sea Smoke.
Dreamscape? Was there Dreamfire?
No, I think it's going to be the name of his new ship. The new name of his ship, I should say. I don't know how you guys in the chat have kept Trickles the Clown alive this long into it, but
Oh
he
gosh,
is.
The incest
we
and
also
Trickles.
got a worse version of Trickles the Clown in the
Yeah, we did. But that's all John Lunsford too, so blood on his hands.
That's true.
Rhaenys.
So now
departed.
refresh me. Which episode did she die in?
4?
I think it was 4.
Okay, that feels like so long ago. I honestly thought it was season 1 for a second.
It
In the storyline, it's like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, that's true.
And the storyline's like 2 hours ago, and literally nothing has happened in those 2 hours. But, I would not say underutilized necessarily because she did have one of the most, I'd say the most impactful scene being the dragon fight. But I was very disappointed to see her die. Honestly, as much as Master of Spoilers loves to look ahead, that's one I had not necessarily looked and seen. So when it happened, I was like, what?
So it was more enjoyable not knowing it was going to happen.
It was not enjoyable because I didn't want it to happen. I wouldn't have been as heartbroken if I knew it was going to happen. But I thought, the whole, queen that never was, she should have been queen, and that would have solved a lot of things, I think. Back in the day, instead of choosing Viserys, I thought she played her role well. I can't remember her name, Eve something is who plays her, but
Best.
Eve Best. I thought she was really good in that role, and I hate that
She was
gone.
great. She really, you feel the loss not only from the character but from the performance. She was outstanding this season, and she really represented, I think, the audience and what they were feeling a lot of the time. She was their voice at the small council. She was the one that made the most sense and was the most even-handed with her approach and trying to take the emotion out of it. And even the way she instructed Corlys to embrace his bastard sons, it's going to end up, it looks like, being the right move. So
Yeah, I thought interaction between those two has been good both seasons, from losing their son, wherever he may be in the world now.
he's got to be dead, right? Just because.
That's what people say because Sea Smoke
His
took a new
dragon-
rider, but I don't know that that's necessarily the case. It can just very much think
No.
he's dead because everybody thinks he's dead except, Rhaenyra and whoever was in on the con. But I thought the whole interaction between all of them has been very good. And then obviously Daemon marrying into that family and there being grandchildren there and everything too. But she's an easy number 1. The one honorable mention I had was Larys. I do think he's good at the role he's playing. I don't care for that character as much as I cared for, I just blanked on his name. The bald one from Game of Thrones. That was also a Master of Whispers.
Yeah, Varys.
Varys. They're all the same name. Larys Varys. I liked him way more in that kind of role. But I think Larys does a good job with it.
So Matt Smith is the top billed actor in this cast.
I was so out of the storyline that I didn't honestly care for him acting in it. I didn't care for anything about it. He didn't do a bad job with what he was doing.
Does
I just
Aegon
didn't
not deserve
care.
a spot on this list? It's a heck of a performance.
I feel like he just burned him, not put on the list.
Yeah.
Yes. The range, though, he has to have of being
The last 4
overly.
episodes has just been him laying there going,
I know, but he has
whole
to be
time.
overly confident. He has to be unsure of himself privately. He has to be cocky and arrogant, but also completely undermined. He has
Every
the most
scene-
range of character throughout this entire season.
but every scene he's in before, obviously halfway through, basically going out of commission, he's not ever the scene stealer in there. There's scenes with him and Aemon that I much prefer Aemon. There's scenes with him and Alicent. I much prefer Alicent. There's scenes with him and Otto. I much prefer Otto.
That scene with him and Otto is probably the most memorable scene to me of this entire
And I would
season.
include Otto too. He wasn't in it enough. I like that performance okay.
Him and Rhaenys, you could feel when they left the show, the void that they left behind with them.
Correct. And one can come back. One is going to come back. One is obviously not going to come back unless they can do like a Force Ghost thing. But it just every scene Aegon's in, somebody else steals the scene. I feel like Larys. Even now, I know Aegon can't do much in a scene, but Larys is the one you're paying attention to more so than anybody. Even when it's just him and the other members of the council, whether it's the Maester, like I prefer watching him. I think the guy that plays the Maester for, I don't remember his name, but for the King, I think he does a very good job. The Lannister that's there, I always forget which one's which. I thought he did a good job.
They also get it wrong. The pirates also get it wrong 9 out of 10 times. So
that makes it even worse. But I feel like everybody on that council does better, strictly from I'm more intrigued to watch this person act in this role than Aegon himself, because Aegon just sits there, it's like, this is stupid, I don't like this, blah, 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 and then he gets burned to death.
All right. There we have it, Luntz's list. 5 best acting performances of Season 2 of House of the Dragon. It has officially come to an end. You can check out our spoiler-filled season recap, where we are with the series, how forward we're looking to Season 3. It's all going to be right there with our Hand of the Meltdown, Mr. Brian Pavlik. Rockstar, thank you so much for jumping back here in the mix and being a part of so much Meltdown content to kick off the week. Tyler, Mr. Culver's Curdsworth over there, he respects the job that you're doing, and we appreciate you housing him on your platform. And we also appreciate, John, our title sponsor. That's MyBookie, where everybody can be a winner.
I like Steven saying, I'm so blown away Otto Hightower was kicking field goals with John Wick as replacement players back in the day. Hey, if that ever happens in the football season this year, you can go bet on it at mybookie.ag. Use promo code next round, play that sports book, get ready for football season with some futures there. Play in the casino, play in the live casino as well. Use promo code next round, get a first deposit bonus on us.
Absolutely. More of the Meltdown this week. Another live show tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. Rockstar, are you able to be a part of it? Can I confirm you for it?
We can see. I think so. I think we have it open.
I want to give what the topic will be for the draft tomorrow. I think I've got it.
Oh, yeah.
I think where I'm at.
Has Rockstar been in a draft yet?
I've been in the SNL draft.
He was in the SNL draft that was done during the Mystery Fifth Hour, and he crushed it. Rockstar absolutely crushed it. So you can check that out.
There.
But no, we're doing a draft.
The first time it was EG, and who was the 5th person last time?
Reed.
I forgot.
Yeah, that was desserts. That was the desserts one. Week 1. And so we've done 2 of these. Week 1, John just absolutely demolished with the desserts list. Week 2, I feel pretty good about the lead I was able to sustain in the superhero casting list, superhero cinema casting list. Here in week 3, I think this is the direction we're going, right? We're going with chips. We're going with
Eric
chips.
Estrada.
Like gas station bags of chips. Like you're on a road trip and you're looking for the best possible chips. This is what we're going with. And like you can go with different flavors of the same brand. So that way we continue with enough chips to make it through. I believe we've got EG joining us tomorrow as well to compete in this. And she's going to be a force, but
I don't know why I thought Zachary Levi was in the remake. It was Dak Shepard. I get those 2 confused. I don't know why.
Zachary Levi and Dak Shepard?
Yeah.
Only one of them is currently playing in Harold and the Purple Crayon.
That's why I was about to make a Harold Purple Crayon joke, but I was like, nope, that's Dak Shepard. Dak Shepard's married to Kristen Bell, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So there we go. Chips. And we will have a random pull to beforehand to see who goes in what order, and it'll be a lot of fun. So we'll do that tomorrow, and I'm sure there will be a lot of strong opinions on that. So that's going to do it here for the Meltdown. We appreciate all of those that have liked this video and subscribed. Make sure you check out all of our retro trailer reactions. We got a new one coming out this week. Days of Thunder going to be happening later this week, which makes John a very happy guy. We'll see you again tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern.